All right. Good afternoon. So I'm going to show you how to model your 3D in AutoCAD. So before we begin, let me first share with you the topic learning outcomes of this lesson. So at the end of this video tutorial, learners should be able to navigate the AutoCAD 3D workspace by identifying and using the essential tools, panels, and interface components required for 3D modeling, to prepare 2D architectural drawings for 3D modeling by properly organizing floor plans, roof plans, and elevations, ensuring correct alignment, layering, and positioning within the workspace. 3. Apply the UCS and E command to manipulate the model space and establish appropriate working planes for efficient 3D model construction. And finally, use the 3D view or the ViewCube and 3D orbit command to control viewing angles and rotate elevations into their proper upright orientation proper prior to creating the 3D model. So let's begin. So before you start, make sure that you have already aligned your elevations to your floor plan or floor plans if you have more than one story, and then you prepare your roof plan. And make sure that all your plans and elevations are layered. So, for example, this one, you'll have the 3D first floor, 3D second floor if you have a second floor. Then this one, you'll have the 3D roof. This one is the front. This one is the right. This one is the left. And finally, we have the rear elevation. So, um, if you are not sure about how to do this, for example, if you're only doing this one, just rotating your elevations to your floor plan so they could be aligned to wherever the elevation is facing. For example, this one faces the front and then this one faces the right. You can use before doing your elevation, for example, this does not appear yet, you haven't done your right elevation yet, you could command UCS and then enter, and then it's not here on the sub command, but you can use E for entity. And then the command prompt will tell you to align your UCS to what wherever you're selecting the object. So for example, you're going to put your um, hover your mouse on this side, it will show your coordinates. So meaning X, you're going to face on the left, your X is at the bottom, and then your Y is going to the right. So meaning your UCS will now appear as X is vertical, um, showing you on the left side, and then your Y is horizontal, showing it on the right side. So if you're going to make your elevations at the right, you could hover it at the bottom. And then when you click, you will observe that you have your X and Y rotated. And then after that, you're going to command plan. And then just enter again. And then it's going to rotate. And that's the time you're going to create construction lines. You're going to align the end of your wall, for example, and then you're going to have your horizontal for the bottom of your floor plan, and then you could input the height of your wall. You now have a wall, and then you could align your windows, So if we have 200 as the finished floor line, and we have 2 1 for the height of the window, and then 1 2 for the total width of the window. I mean the height of the window. Then we're going just to trim it. And here. So that's how you do your elevation. So if you want to create another for your overhangs, you could just extend this one, extend, and you could just copy, or I mean use it to align your overhang. So that's how you create your elevations using the UCS. So UCS again, if you're going to create the rear part, you hover UCS in E for entity, and then you click and you will observe that your UCS icon has changed again. You command plan, double enter, and then it's going to you're basically manipulating the workspace. You're not, for example, we're in the world UCS. You don't do this. You copy your floor plan, and then you rotate, and then that's how you create your elevations. So you don't do that because, if, for example, if you're going to make a 50-story building and there, and then every floor you're going to rotate them, um, just going to take a very long time instead of just aligning everything. When you're facing this side here, you're going to use UCS entity, and then you're facing this side here, you're going to use UCS entity. So that's better if you're doing complicated or high story buildings. So let's just undo this one. So we're going to go back to our previous drawings here. Now, we're done with that. We've already aligned our elevations to our floor plan. Now, when you are going to start with your AutoCAD 3D, basically these are not the ribbon, or I mean, these are not the tools that you're going to use, because these are for 2D. So if you want to use icons or tools here, you could go to the gear button on your bottom right, and you click this one, and you could go to 3D Basics. So basically, it's going to update. So you're going to be able to extrude, revolve, loft, sweep. All of those you're going to be able to use for your 3D modeling in AutoCAD. But if you are very familiar with the commands of AutoCAD 3D, uh, you can just use this one, the drafting and annotation um, UI. So it's basically the same thing. You're just being shown the icons here. But if you're fully aware, you know the commands in creating extrusion, creating subtraction. You're good with this, all right? So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to manipulate your ViewCube. This is your ViewCube. It's basically a cube. It's just a square at this alignment. But when you hover your mouse, there are markers. They highlight. For example, you're going to view it in this corner, so it's going to show you an isometric view. If you want it like this, or you want it the other side. So that's how you start your preparing. You start preparing your drawings for 3D modeling. Now, the last part that I'm going to show you is how to rotate the elevations upright, because we're going to extrude, or basically make this wall have an a z-axis, have a volume. So we're going to need this as our reference for the height, for the voids of our windows, for the openings, I mean, of our windows and our doors. So since we're going to extrude this floor plan, we also need the elevations to go upright. So the command for that is 3D R, or 3D rotate. So you highlight your elevation, for example, this one, enter, and take note of where you are going to rotate. You can use the base of your elevation so that it's aligned to the base of your floor plan. So this is the base of our elevation. We're going to use it as our reference. Specify base point. So this is our base point. You click on that, then it's going to ask you pick a rotation axis. So it's basically just picking where you're going to rotate. So if you're going to rotate this blue here, it's going to highlight as yellow. It's going to rotate X to Y. So it's just going to rotate like this. But if you're going to select green, it's going to rotate from X to Z, that. Or if you're going to highlight or select red, it's going to rotate Y to Z. So we're going to rotate it Y to Z, the direction of the rotation. So we're going to click red and then just click outside and click again so that it's going to be in an upright position. So let's do it again for the other elevations. 3DR, sorry. You highlight your elevations or elevation, enter. So this should be aligned. The base of our floor plan is the base of our elevation is here also, as well. So we're going to select this. So click and then select green as your direction for your rotation. And then you click outside and click outside. So we have now an upright position. Same with your other elevations. Click on the base and then click on the direction of the rotation. Click and click. Oh, I haven't been able to highlight this. So I'm just going to undo that one. 3DR again. Select everything. Enter. Select the base. Select the direction of the rotation. And then this one as well. And then click the base. And then, oops, sorry. It should be 3DR. It was just rotate. And then click on the base. Click on the direction. And click outside. So basically, you're now ready to do your 3D in AutoCAD. So we will start extruding our floor plan in the next video tutorial. So thank you and have a nice day.